Gather round, friends, new and old, and welcome to the POWWOW podcast. We are your hosts, Philip
and David. Sorry, I had a malfunction there.
Yeah, a mouth function. Anyways, it's funny, David, that we both, on this my fine morning, you're entering nighttime, we both decided to use hats. And you'll probably see it later on in the preview if you go on our social POWWOW podcast, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're all over the place. Anyways, but you'll see it, and we're both wearing hats. But what's funny about it is that this is probably your third hat that I've seen you wear, maybe even in our knowance of each other, but certainly for the podcast. And I usually have more than just this one hat that you've probably always seen on both the preview and you yourself. But I'm just lazy. I'm probably the most proactively lazy person you'll ever find, which is an oxymoron, but yet is true in that all my hats are right now packed away since I was forced to come back to Arizona, and I'm been gracious enough to live with my family during this time. All my hats are packed away, and normally I have a good rotation of hats. This is just the only one that I've been gifted during my time here, and so it remains to be the only hat that I have. And it's starting to bother me, but again, I'm getting so close to the date upon when I'm leaving that I refuse, but it's irking me more and more each day. Yikes. Slowly rolling into this wave of contempt.
Well, this is the oldest hat that I have, and it's for my country's rugby team, and they're going to be playing a huge, once every 12 years 3-match series against the British and Irish Lions. They tour every 4 years, but they only go to South Africa every 12 years. So it's always a huge thing, and that's happening this side. There's been a lot of questions about it, whether it's going to go ahead, but as far as this to this point, it's still happening. So it's very exciting.
As of this recording.
Yes, yeah. As of this recording, and hopefully they'll allow fans into the stadiums. Even if it's not full. I know, but even if it's not full, if they can allow like some fans in there, it's just too big of an event. It's as if they had. Imagine if they hadn't had any fans at the Super Bowl.
Sure. My question to you before we jump into the whole episode, everything, all the goodies that we've got here. If somebody sees you wearing a hat, walking around town, what are the percentage chances that you did not take a shower that day?
I would say it's like a 40% chance that I didn't shower that day. The other 60% of the time, either my hair's doing something funky, like I showered, but I didn't do anything with it, and it's just, or maybe I just want to wear a hat. Sometimes I just like wearing hats sometimes. So about 40% of the time, maybe it's before I've showered that day, but I do shower every day, I will say.
For me, 90% since I've moved back, since I only have one hat. But normally whenever I'm in rotation, I'm probably around like 60%. If I'm wearing a hat, chances are I just, maybe I'm in a rush, and so I didn't want to do my hair that day, so I just showered and went out. But more than often, I don't have.
Yeah. What about you? DM us. We want to know. Everything's burning. Meteors falling from the sky. People are screaming all around you. Zombies are rising from the graves. That's right, it's the apocalypse. Welcome. We're doing a fun episode this week where we're going to talk about all the hypotheticals surrounding the inevitable apocalypse.
Yes. It's always coming. In case you don't know, even if you aren't prepared for it, probably because you aren't prepared for it, it's coming even faster.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so what we're going to do is just going to ask some hypothetical questions. We're both going to give our very, very well thought out, thoroughly researched, and
many people would say expert opinion.
Yes, our podcast literally revolves around the theme of camping, and the apocalypse. Yes. The apocalypse is just one ultimate camping trip. So, the first question, and this is really key, where in the world would you want to be when the apocalypse strikes? And I would love an explanation. Phil, you go first.
So, this is different than where I want to be during the entirety of the apocalypse. It's a very distinct difference. The difference being is that I would want to, because I don't think we have this later on, but where I want to remain for like the rest of my days in existence, because I think that you were around here and maybe you don't have one. For that purpose, I want to be in a Costco. However, when the apocalypse hits, I do not want to be in a Costco. You want to be somewhat isolated. You want to be
Right.
somewhere fortified but isolated. So if that's not a house, if that doesn't sound like your place, maybe even like an apartment building, I don't think that necessarily works because you don't want to be levels above. You at maximum you want to be like in a 2-story
Right.
sanctuary. So
You don't want to be in
I
one of those
think
high
where
rises. That's a rookie error.
absolutely. I think where I would want to be is probably a pawn shop of some kind. Because you're already fortified with some weapons. You've got certain fortifications that will help prevent for the entrance, and chances are you're near to a fast food, a couple food places that you could easily access once things kind of die down. You'll probably have a lot of parked cars in the area should you need that. And again, just a good collection of things that you may need. There will be jackets there, clothes if you need to warm up, maybe some electronics that you might need, all that stuff. I would say a pawn shop to at least start this journey. How about you, David?
I have a very specific place in mind. I don't know everything about it. Where you want to be? Okay, so you want to be away from like you don't want to be in L.A., New York. Are you crazy? No, you will get killed immediately. You want to be somewhere that's not heavily densely populated. Most of the Netherlands is terrible for that very reason. But you also don't want to be alone. You got to have some people around. First of all, you got to be able to, you got to form a team. You got to have community. So I want to be somewhere in a town in Northern California. And once we've gathered up,
like Fresno.
Maybe not Fresno. Fresno's already in an apocalypse. You want to be so you want to be in a town. You want to be able to gather resources, Costco, Target, wherever you want to go, grocery stores, gun shops. And then I want to go. There's a very specific hotel in Yosemite. That's where I'm going.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the hotel's going to have beds, sheets, probably the clothes of the guests that were there. Some kind of, maybe not working laundry machines if there's no electricity, but ways to do laundry, even in the waterfall. I'll do my laundry in the waterfall. There you go. And like wilderness. So you can hunt, even at worst case scenario, you're living on squirrels.
Yeah, you're hunting ducks.
Right.
Get over here, Donald. All right, what would be your first move in terms of equipping yourself, David? Like, are you more so looking for food? Are you more geared towards safe shelter? Maybe starting your own garden, getting guns? Where do you start? I guess it kind of does depend more so on what type of apocalypse we're talking about.
Yes,
but
obviously.
If possible, get a general idea.
I think in any kind of apocalypse, you're going to expect to have to hunt for yourself and maybe defend yourself. But I would maybe go go to a weaponry store, not necessarily for guns. Like, I'm not a big gun person, but you probably will need them at some stage, maybe.
You will become one.
Especially knives. Like, you got to have some kind of like blade, I think, and ideally something to sharpen it, right? So I'd head to one of those stores first because, look, food is a long-term thing. You're going to keep needing to gather food. So it's not going to be pressing right off the bat. But gathering up like whatever weaponry you might need or like tools, that's my first priority. And then shelter. Someplace to hold up, like the hotel in Yosemite. Phil, what about you?
Sure. I think I would go shelter first. And ideally, it'd be somewhere near a library because the internet's going to go down. And a lot of the things that I'm not very much right now a handsy survival person. Sure, this is all with the asterisk of me knowing full and goddamn well that I am going down in a hunk of flames. Like I would be the person who dies of diabetes because I'm taking the fun way out while I can, because it's only going to get worse. And Lord knows I'm not survival trained whatsoever. And with no YouTube on how to survive the apocalypse, yada yada yada, I'm going out unless there's books nearby that can help me. Like, hey, how to build your own solar panels. Hey, how to do all this. I'm so dead. So I would go shelter first. Try to find the perfect spot, if at all possible. Then, not guns. I would be more interested in, like you said, knives, but above all else, crossbows.
Yeah.
Reusable.
Yeah.
Ammunition is should be plentiful. You can at least make your own in theory.
In theory. I mean, if not a crossbow, at least a longbow, right? You could, in theory, make a longbow for yourself.
I would need that gun element where I don't need to fully aim at myself. That's my thing.
Okay.
But yeah, crossbows
All right.
more my speed.
Next, very, very important. What would be your ideal group / community size?
I need one clarification.
Okay.
Are we repopulating the planet?
I thought that would be your question. Potentially. I mean, eventually, I suppose that would be necessary.
Wow. Then that leads me to 12. I think if it were like a zombie apocalypse where there's probably not a chance that you're all just surviving for the sake of
12
surviving.
is not enough people to safely genetically repopulate the Earth.
No, but at least you can do your own community. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm just at least trying to think of being mobile and the amount of people that I could stand. That's like, I think you do to guarantee more security, because whenever you go to like 100, you're just a herd of gazelles for the lions to come in and get you.
I'm gonna stand with you. 12 people of relatively the same age, and then when it comes to repopulating the Earth, you're gonna have to like find other communities, right?
Right. I've got one that we didn't have previously discussed, but I do think is very pertinent for this.
Okay.
And I'm going to go in two different ways here.
Okay.
First off, what is a food that you would ideally have stocked up on? Because keep in mind, it's situations like this where it's stupid stuff like this. It's times like this where stupid stuff like Twinkies, Ding Dongs, Cheetos, just the frivolous things that we've come accustomed to that will no longer be reproduced. Like maybe at best you can create a pizza. You can recreate a pizza. You can like vegetate. You can make a farm, yada, yada, yada. But it's going to be a long, like it won't be in your lifetime that you will ever be able to
before you can even
ever
do
make
a pizza though.
A Cheeto.
Oh yeah.
Sure,
yeah.
absolutely. So what are some of the things that we would probably stock up on that you would want to have as a food storage silo?
I'm gonna say, especially since I'm gonna be in Northern California and Yosemite, there's no way I'm ever getting my hands on any chocolate. So I think I'm gonna stock up on chocolate with the idea that perhaps one day I would at least be able to like harvest some flour and be able to make pasta or bread or pizza. Like that would be my idea. But I think the thing that I'm never going to get my hands on cocoa, and once it runs out, it's out, or chocolate. So let's stock up on chocolate and eat it very sparingly.
That's pretty good. That's fairly good. I think I would normally go something like Cheez-Its, but I think I have a chance of recreating that at some point in my life. So I will go with barbecue Lays, because there's no way in hell I'm making barbecue Lays in the apocalypse. So I'd rather have a big old stockpile of that.
If you manage to grow some potatoes, maybe you can flavor your Lays with squirrel.
There we go. Yes, squirrel Lays. It stacks.
Squirrel and rosemary. Squirrel and pine.
Last one. If you ever saw I Am Legend, you saw that he had like 3 movies that he had on rotate that he always watched, that he just kind of started his day out on. What form of entertainment would you make sure that you had, whether or not it be for educational purposes, whether or not it be for entertainment purposes, for your own sanity, maybe what have you? Maybe I would assume, I think I know what your answer is gonna be.
Probably.
But, again, it can serve multiple purposes, possibly.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that I'm just gonna pick 3 shows that I'm gonna bring to watch. Number one, the most important, everything Bear Grylls, like all of his Man vs. Wild episodes.
Sure.
Yeah, I think there's some relevant information there.
Obvious and instructional purposes.
Second most important, The Office. And then
that one I figured.
Right. And then, you know what? If I was going to bring a drama as well to balance out the comedy, I feel like, and the comedy and the educational, I feel like if I was going to pick an action drama, I would pick 24. It was a That Slaps a few weeks ago for me. So
wow.
24, I think there's a lot of material there. There's 9 seasons worth of like really great TV. So I think that's what I would bring. That's not including any books that I might have my hands on. So
sure, absolutely. Books will probably be
the most accessible,
the most prevalent thing.
Yeah,
absolutely. Unless there's fires. God, there's always fires. For me, it'd probably be something stupid. Like I think it'd probably be like Forrest Gump, because at least then I'd have like a remembrance, a history. There's a lot of people in there, so I can at least kind of talk to a lot of people when I go crazy. So I'd probably go Forrest Gump, so that way I could at least remember how things were. Something like that. Again, no educational purposes whatsoever in there, but just to keep it easy and simple, Forrest Gump.
Good. What's going to be the best thing for you about living in the apocalypse?
The best thing about being in the apocalypse, time alone would be ideal.
Yeah.
And honestly, at least I'd be able to like live for the moment. Not having to worry about money is quite idealistic. I'd imagine, I mean, there's a lot of bad things. I'm not a person who likes to move, and I'm not a big fan of manual labor. As much as it doesn't seem like it with these big old guns that I got going here. But I don't enjoy manual labor and a lot of other elements that would probably be necessary to survive. But I think more time alone. I'm a person that is fine with alone time.
Yeah.
Rather than anything else.
For me, it's all about all the bureaucracy of living in a civilized society, like bank accounts and finances and insurance, and like, you know what? There's something appealing about living with the bare basics and just having to survive and just being like in this tight-knit community. There's a lot about that appeals to me. And the last question, what will be some of the things you would miss the most?
Biggest thing would probably be the food. Second would be, honestly, some of the connections that I've had. Because no matter what your group size is, you're going to lose some people. And you'll think back, one, not knowing, probably having and being forced to assume that they're dead. And that would be tragic. That would be absolutely tragic. So I've got those two. And then third, probably the assurance of safety. I'm very blessed to be living in a place right now where I think we all take it for granted, but it is something that you can just walk around and have some false sense of safety. Even though at any point in time we could all have a car accident, even if it's just a car just driving through our house, just barreling through, we at least have this idea of safety, not having to be constantly on worrying that a zombie's coming through or a wild stag or the house is going to be burning on fire. There's that false sense of security that you at least have that I would miss. What about you, David?
I think the biggest one will be food. The diverse flavors and ingredients and cuisines that we have access to in our global society, that would all be pretty much lost. So yeah, I think I would miss a lot of the foods for sure.
We move on to our mini segment of the week. This week on rotation, we got random question is what it sounds like. David, if you don't mind, I'll start.
Go ahead.
Has there ever been a moment so perfect in your life that you think had your life ended there, you would have been fine with it? And if not, do you foresee a circumstance where that could be the case?
No, I think my everlasting desire to one day have kids has meant that I don't have any kids, so I couldn't possibly have been satisfied. So no, the circumstances would have to I mean, if I'm gonna have kids, then I ideally want to be alive for quite a while. So I think I'd have to be pretty old to get to that point, which I think is great. I'll say it again. I think I've said it before. Like I'm not expecting an afterlife. So I gotta make this one as long and as wonderful as possible. Phil,
Your random question.
would you rather always have extremely hard nipples and an outie belly button, or not have any nipples or belly button at all? No scar, nothing.
So no belly button whatsoever. Yeah, that's easy. No, that's the nosies.
And
I'm gonna go nosies on both.
No nipples and no belly button at all.
Yes, it's mostly because neither serve a functional purpose. Now, if this were something like you'd have extremely curled fingers versus no fingers whatsoever, I would much rather at least have something to work with. But since neither nipples nor belly buttons on men serve a functional purpose, I know that there's that weird instance where men can produce like one serving of milk if a baby, if their body can tell if there's an emergency situation, they have like a day's worth of milk stored in their body. It's absolutely disgusting.
Really?
But anyways, yeah, apparently that's a thing. So there is that.
Jesus.
But I'm fine with foregoing that and a belly button rather than just everything being so pertinent and out in the open. It's just
I do know that men can get breast cancer. I know that that's possible. So,
Sure, absolutely.
all right, for our once more this week, we're staying on theme. We're going to be talking about our favorite disaster movies, and I think we each have a top 3. And
This was surprisingly hard, David. Did you get to a point where you're like, oh, I kind of want to include that. I had to put some thought into
Yeah.
it. When we first introduced it, I thought this was going to be so easy. I thought I was going to have trouble coming up with 3.
For
it
me,
was the reverse.
For me, initially I had trouble coming up with 3, and then I found 3. But I know that there are others out there that if I thought of them, I would regret not including. But
Yeah.
as of now, I have 3 plus an honorable mention.
I wonder if we're going to have any of the same. I doubt it.
I doubt it
but
too.
I wonder. Yeah, an honorable mention. I have. It's insane. I have a strong honorable mention list, so I have to even think about what.
Okay.
So do you want to go back and forth on this?
Let's
honorable
okay. Yeah,
mentions?
let's start with should we start with 3? Our 3s.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Waterworld. Now I know it was one of the biggest flops in all of cinematic history. One of those ranked, and it's long. I get that it's long, but it's just it's going to be somewhat of a constant theme on these top 3 films. They're my favorite, and I realize that there are a lot of flaws. You can poke a lot of holes into these, like Swiss cheese. But Waterworld, for me, it just works. I love that the whole freaking world's water. I love that they're shooting boats. I love that they've got gasoline and that they've got to fight over it. Kevin Costner is one of the worst performances that he's ever given, and I love it. I just love it all so much. Waterworld. David, you're 3rd.
Okay, so my 3rd is shamelessly I picked Knowing with Nick Cage. 90% of the reason is because it has Nick Cage in it, and there's just so many reasons to love Nicolas Cage.
God bless.
So Knowing, I just thought that was like, it's not like the greatest, it's definitely not the greatest movie ever, but I just found it so like cool when I first watched it. And I think I watched it at the beginning of the pandemic as well. Yeah, I like that movie. It was a good disaster movie in my opinion.
You never said the film.
Knowing with Nicolas Cage. I said it.
Oh, Knowing.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely missed it. I'm unaware of the film. But yes, Knowing.
You've
All right,
seen
cool.
it, I'm guessing.
I've never
I've never seen Waterworld. So here we go. Our number 2s, Phil.
Why don't you
Yeah,
start,
I'll
David?
start. Okay. The Day After Tomorrow with
Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal, is that right?
Like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
I thought that was a good disaster movie. As far as disaster movies go, I enjoyed it.
From what I recall, I've seen like a few sequences of it. The cinematic effects don't hold up that well, but still fun. Still fun.
It's fun to see like a ship like floating through New York.
Sure. My second one, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, Starship Troopers.
Nope.
Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
Nope.
Stars a young Diane Lane, a young oh my gosh, who's Barney on How I Met Your Mother?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris, and then another guy. That's about it. But it's very stylized. I think this is probably the one that you would actually like. It's weirdly enough, even though it's bad, it knows that it's bad, and it goes for critical acclaim in different ways, and more so in like the thought process of it. I really like this one, and I think that you would too. It's about bugs invading Earth.
All right, cool. All right,
it's quite cool.
All right, so honorable mentions. Should we just give a couple each and then?
Sure.
All right.
I'll go with iRobot. Of course, Titanic.
Oh,
that's always my favorite.
Interesting.
And then Simpsons movie.
iRobot, I didn't really consider as like, it is kind of dystopian, isn't it? But yeah, that's a good one. I love that. Well, it's one of my favorite movies from the early from that decade.
Oh yeah,
100%.
It's aged rather well.
Oh yeah,
surprisingly well.
I actually kind of want to watch it soon. Greenland, honorable mention. Greenland. It came out last year. Stars Gerard Butler, and it's about like a meteor shower that's like.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was. It's nothing special, but given that it's recent, it's one of the more recent disaster movies. I thought it deserved an honorable mention. Second one, Poseidon.
Better than the Green Book.
Green Book.
Yeah.
Poseidon. Did you see Poseidon? Was where the ship rolls over on its.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It didn't get good reviews, but
I liked it.
Quite nice.
I haven't seen it in years, but I liked it. And was there another one? No. That's it.
Okay. Our last ones. Our final ones. Our top
one.
Dogs.
I'll go first.
I'll go.
I actually added this last minute. It's not really a disaster movie. It's an apocalypse movie, but Zombieland.
Ah, very good. Very good. Zombieland 2 was...
It was funny.
A scooch less than
It was funny, but it
funny.
was not that good. Where Zombieland 1 was funny and great.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Classic.
Very good. Very nicely done. My top one, I wonder if you've seen this. Armageddon.
I believe I've seen bits and pieces. I've never seen the movie, and it would have been years ago.
Armageddon, Michael Bay in full force. Like this was his last chance at being good, and he just doesn't do it a good job. It's Bruce Willis thinking that he's putting in the performance of a lifetime.
And Ben Affleck.
Ben
right?
Affleck's there.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's there. Steve Buscemi, Michael Clark Duncan, Owen Wilson. It's the stars are aplenty. It's fantastic. Oh, the guy from Minari, the guy who carries the cross, he's in that too. He's actually quite good. It's so bad, it's good. And there's also that song that's way overplayed, but God bless it. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, babe. And I don't want to miss a thing.
Thank you so much for that. I actually this is the one that I forgot of my honorable mentions, and it needs to be said. It was also a That Slaps. It was Love and Monsters, great monster movie, post-apocalyptic monster movie from this year. Was nominated for an Oscar. We move on to our game for the week, and we bring on a very special guest. Her name is Julie, and she comes... so now we're recording from 3 separate countries.
Ooh.
And I'm sure we'll let Julie say where she's coming from. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, thank you so much.
All right, Julie, I want to ask you a couple questions before we get started here. Not to grill you or anything, just more so to get to know you, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, first of all, how do you know David? How did you come into David's world to where you are now on this podcast?
Well, I went to high school with David's older sister, and we're actually, we're best friends, we're sisters. So I've actually known David since he was like 11 or something years old.
So you knew him before the beard?
Yes. I knew him when he was a little boy on trampoline, and yeah.
You make it sound like there's a ginormous age difference. It's not that big. We were actually in high school at the same time.
No, you were in middle school when we were in high school, but then you joined in later on. So
yes, yeah.
David, you got a question for Julie?
Yeah, okay, Julie, I have a question. you are a world traveler just like me. You've lived in multiple countries, and you've seen a lot of the world. What is the most exciting place you ever got to visit?
I think Mexico probably stands out the most because it was such a culture shock, and it was so different from coming from Denmark. So I think that's constantly the one I come back to, where the food, the taste, the culture, everything was just so exciting and very diverse, and of course so much bigger and so many more attractions to see and natural phenomenons and things like that.
All right. And Julie, my last question here. What was the last gift you gave someone?
Well, I gave my mom a gift 3 days ago for her birthday, and that was handmade oven mittens.
Handmade ovens. Yeah. Now, David, that's something your disinterested fingers could never do. Not like I could either, but that is very impressive,
absolutely
Julie.
Not.
Very impressive. Was there a certain pattern or shape associated with them? Is there like elephants on them?
No, they had a very calm pattern on them with small little flowers, leaves on the front side, but they were quilted on the front, so it gave them a little bit of a nicer look. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And you've recently made some wonderful things for Sabrina's daughter, Nyla.
Sabrina being your sister, David.
Sabrina being my sister. Yes, sorry. I think I've mentioned her name several times on this podcast.
Just in case, but yes.
Just in case we have any new listeners, and you made some handmade things, a bed even for her. Amazing.
Yeah, my sewing machine has been used a lot since you got a new niece. A lot of baby things, a lot of that's been fun to try.
All right. Well, Julie, thank you for joining us for this game. David, why don't you explain what Julie needs to do this week so that way she doesn't feel like if she loses a leg or an arm or a toe or something.
So we're doing things slightly differently compared to most weeks. Julie, you will be the judge and the executioner, the Judge Julie, if you will. Yeah. So Phil and I are going to text each other names of celebrities or characters, famous celebrities or characters. Ideally, they're somewhat iconic, and then you will attempt to guess who we are impersonating. So if I text Phil a name, and he then does the impression of that celebrity or character, and if you guess it correctly, then Phil will get a point. And the same, obviously, for me when Phil has his. Okay. So, Phil, should we go 1 and 1, or should we do all of mine and then all of yours?
No, let's do 1 and 1. Yeah, let's offset it.
Okay.
Very rarely do we get this opportunity. Let's do it.
Okay, I will text you first.
Fantastic.
Okay, Phil, I have just texted you.
If you could change, then we could change, and we all could change. Because we could change. I wanted to be the champion of the world.
I would say it sounds like you're really doing a good job. It's going to be something that I might not know, but for some reason it reminds me something of Ice Age, but I've never really seen it, so I can't be sure.
It's a swing and a miss.
I know
like an animated character that's sort of just He
is kind of an animated character these days.
Bit.
Unfortunately, no, it's not from Ice Age. It's not Ray Romano. It was. Tell her, Phil.
It was Sylvester Stallone. I was going for the Rocky angle. I don't know if you've ever seen
I'm sorry. I've only once a long time ago.
It's all right. I should have gone Guardians of the Galaxy 2 angle. That was the way that I should have gone. That's probably more widespread known. Anyway. All right. David, all right. Now we go to your turn. Let me send it to you right now.
Goodness. Well, hello. Oh.
Is that all I get?
I'm trying to think of.
Come on, you got to give her more than that. Even
okay. All right. Love me. This is the best I got.
It's actually, it reminds me of something like from a movie or something.
All right, Julie. You got to guess. Do you have any guess whatsoever?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Go ahead and
Okay,
tell her who
damn
it was, David.
That was my attempt at Bruce Almighty, the scene with Jen Aniston where he's trying to get her to love her. It was Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Those are hard
why
shoes
not
to
take-
fill, I gotta say.
They are, but yeah. Now that you're on Bruce Almighty, like one of the things about what he like the
Smite me, almighty smiter.
Oh yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good. Yeah.
yeah with the whole
All right,
like
moving on.
Okay.
All right, Julie, we're gonna try and impress you here. David's sending me the next one. All right, here we go. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of the darkness, motherfucker. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
I'm terrible at this game.
No, Julie, no.
You guys are doing a good job.
No, Julie.
Again,
give her something
it
else.
reminds
Come
me
on.
of something.
Okay,
it
hold
reminds
on.
me clearly of something.
Okay, hold on. Let me think. Let me think of another one because this is too good for you to not get. Let me
It is too good.
Let me think. Hold on. All right, let me think of another one from this person's archive. Blessed as it may be. Let me think. I am tired of these mother snakes on these mother plane.
I'm gonna say Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay, thank God.
There you go.
Thank God. All right, I got a
There
point.
you go.
I got a
Phil's
point.
got a point. Okay, hit me with the next one, Phil.
All right.
Oh my God. Peter. Stop, Peter.
Okay, so if you're saying PETA, that's like some like Hunger Games thing, but it didn't really sound like that at all.
Oh my Lord. So
I
you're,
actually
At
think that
first
was a
when you said
pretty
the
good
whole-
impression.
yeah, I think it was too. Unfortunately, I'm just not sure that
I'm
Julie,
so sorry.
Julie knows who it is. Go ahead and
It's okay.
give it to her, David.
That was Lois Griffin from Family Guy.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't watch those.
All right,
It's okay.
I will take
That's all right.
my next one, David.
All right. Here we go.
Hooah! What the hell are you talking about? Family. Never go against the family, Pedo. Never.
Al Pacino?
God bless it.
Hey.
Yeah, baby. I'll take it. Oh,
Goodness, wonderful.
You had me at
Wonderful.
Hua.
yeah, of course. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it's a little bit difficult because people are like, what the actual hell? Let me go with this. I have a feeling David won't know who this is, and neither will Lois, but excuse me, I'm sorry. Now I'm getting
Julie.
Lois. Julie.
Not Lois
Julie on my
Griffin.
mind. I've got Lois Griffin on my mind here because it was such a thing.
Got no idea.
Hold on.
Okay. I don't know. All right. Standing at 5'8" in the center of the ring, lining up against the current world champion, is Philip Amorine. Don't know how specific Julie's expected to be here, but
I don't think very specific at all, but as long as we get something.
okay.
Any idea who that could possibly be, Julie?
It sounds like someone from a wrestling movie, and I never really watched any of that. So,
What kind of person would be saying something like that?
well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those like judges or commentators on those events, but I mean, I have no idea who.
Okay, cool. So it's I'll go with it because she at least got to there. So I'm gonna go with.
I mean, the name you sent me was Michael Buffer, and I've never heard that name before. I'm not familiar with.
Yes, Michael Buffer is always that guy. They lower the mic in the center of the ring.
Oh,
and,
that guy, yeah.
yeah. And that guy's there weighing in at 277 pounds just from his left cankle. You know, everything else. So, all right, go ahead and send me the next name, David. We are woefully underperforming here. You have one, I have two.
No, I think I'm underperforming.
All right.
You're our impartial guest, Julie. So
here we go, Julie. Who the hell are you? You know, I will, whoever the hell you are on the other side of this phone, I want you to know one thing. If you ate my goddamn Cheerios, I will find you and I will kill you. You better give them back right now because they're the healthy start of any type of breakfast. You damn bastard. All right, Julie. Any idea who that could possibly be?
I think it's that like Colin guy, like
Colin
Farrell or something.
Oh, no.
No.
You got the wrong Irishman.
Dang it. It's Liam Neeson.
Oh, okay. Because it sounds like something Colin would say in that In Bruges movie or something,
No,
where he's
you're
just really depressed.
You're right. I can see how I led you down that path. Yes, unfortunately. All right.
It could have also been the bee on the front of the Cheerios box.
Yes,
could have been that guy.
Could have been either guy.
That's exactly what he sounds like. So,
be happy, be healthy.
oh wow. All right, this one should be good. All right. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Everybody gets a car.
Isn't that or am I mixing it up? Kevin Spacey
Hope
in
not.
that movie with the the one with the math where he does the whole. Oh, he says you get a brand new car. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about, but no, that's incorrect.
Go ahead and let her know who it was supposed to be.
It was Oprah Winfrey, the biggest TV giveaway ever. You get a car, and you get a car.
Oh, I've never seen that show.
All right.
Go ahead and
Neither have I.
Go ahead and give me my last one, David.
Okay. Oh, I've got two left. I choose between. I'll give you both of them, and you can choose.
Oh, geez. Trying to think of which one Julie will probably know. That's where I'm gonna hedge my bet on here. I don't think there's a chance in the world she would know who option number one is. So I think I'm forced to go with option number two.
I think you got a chance with option number two.
Let me think. Let me think here. All right. This is the LAPD. We're the most hated cops in all the free world. My own mama's ashamed of me. She tells everybody I'm a drug dealer. You don't know nothing about no war. It ain't y'all, it's y'all. Y'all. Man, you sound like a karate movie. Y'all. Oh, hell no. You didn't just touch my goddamn radio. The Beat Boy's gonna get you a great whooping. Don't you ever touch a black man's radio, boy. You can do that in China, but you can get your killed out here, man.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure. I just can't figure the name. It's
At least give me a movie. Give me something.
It's Rush Hour.
It's Rush Hour.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. There we go.
There it is.
It's Carter.
Perfect.
What's his name again?
Carter. Wow, impressive pull, actually.
Yes, there you go. She knows the character. She knows the character.
Absolutely. I'd say that's a point.
Those are so good.
Chris Tucker.
That's 100%.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Chris Tucker. Yeah.
I knew that was going to be up your alley, Julie. I knew you were going to love that one.
Oh, they're so good.
I will give you my last two here, David. And
two?
Yeah, just to see which one you want to go with. I will.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you have definitely won because you got 3 points now, and I'm stuck on one. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Oh. All right. I'm gonna take it like a little bit away from the microphone.
Okay.
Good morning, Vietnam.
I know who it is. I just have to give me
some more.
No, I know who it is. I just can't think of the name. So because I know it's
Mr. Aladdin, sir, what will your pleasure be? Did she get it? Did you say? What did you say?
Robin Williams.
There she goes. She got it.
Yay! There we go.
All right.
Fantastic.
I was actually like over at David's house when when he passed away. I remember you were quite upset about that. Actually, that was during high school that happened.
Yeah. For me, I remember that's
it was when I was still in high school, but you had long gone from high school. It was 2014.
Right, jeez, way to make Julie sound old. Jeez, Louise.
Well, she's just so much older than I am.
You were long and gone away from high school. You were practically using a walker to get out of that house.
I did just age 1 year yesterday, so I am feeling old.
Well, happy birthday, Julie. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Julie.
Well, Julie, you did what you needed to do. You did the Lord's work. You gave me a victory, and you took David down a peg. God bless you. God bless you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you'd like to plug before we have to part ways here?
Well, I mean, if anyone wants to follow my more creative projects of mine, then they can go check out my Instagram page on JF Artistry, where I put up all my work.
Are there any underscores there that we're missing?
JF underscore artistry. Yeah.
Perfect. Go check it out, guys. There's some really, really awesome stuff on there.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Julie, and go have a fun, happy birthday hangover. All right?
Thanks so much.
Julie's inclusion, we now both move to a friggin' tie. 6 and 7. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Okay. This is a personal favorite. I think a lot of people love this segment of the show. It's That Slaps. I'm going to go first, and I'm bringing a TV show. From the very same creator of The Office, Greg Daniels, comes a Amazon Prime show, 10 episodes, called Upload. It's a very interesting show. It's about 12 years in the future when you can, if you're almost dead, you can upload your conscience to a virtual reality and live potentially forever. And it's very good. I found it quite enjoyable. It's not like laugh out loud funny. Actually there are some really funny moments, but it's not high comedy like The Office or most sitcoms, but it's funny and it's very good, very well made. Greg Daniels, well done.
Yeah, I think I've seen little things for it. Going along with our theme today, I chose the song "Burning Fire" by Camino.
Okay.
Just purely for the namesake alone, and I do happen to enjoy the song. It's a very good song. Not sure that the lyrics are that strong, but it sounds good. Enjoy. As we wrap up this episode and we lay waste to the wastelands and we look across the desert skies, oh my gosh, I'm now just thinking about it. Disaster movies, Mad Max, Fury Road. Anyways. That's definitely my number one.
Oh.
Way too late. It doesn't count, and it sucks that it doesn't count. But anyways, I'm so sorry. We've got people to thank, things to thank. Let's get to it. David.
All right, to Cass and Crossland and to Jake Corlang for the music on the show. Thank you guys so much. You're wonderful.
Yes, and to Tara Amstutz, thank you so much for your beautiful designs. They are on par with Mad Max Fury Road. Thank you so much for listening to all of our episodes, new and old. We continue to do this each and every week, Wednesday at 12 in the afternoon if you're local. My time, I believe that's 9 p.m. David's time, and any time in between. Just kind of look for us on Wednesdays. If you just subscribe, we'll pop up each and every day that we come up and we're new. Make sure to continue to do that. You'll find us on each and every podcast site you can. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, pretty much everywhere except for Pandora. Because screw you, Pandora!
I'm a bear and I'm hungry. Nom, 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 nom.